I'm Holly and welcome to my channel, Holly Go Read. Today, in honor of Valentine's Day, which just passed, we're going to talk about my top 10 OTPs. So I make no secret that I love, and I love reading romance and romance heavy books. So let's dive on in. I have choices from YA, middle grade, adult, literary fiction, all that fun stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about the 10 ships that I ship the hardest. So in reverse order from like 10 to 1. First off, we have To Be Honest by Maggie Ann Martin. I ship Savvy and George so hard. They are so cute. They hype the crap out of each other, which, I mean, we can all use that in our lives. They're adorable. I highly recommend this book. If you haven't watched it, I will link my To Be Honest review up there. Please, please, please read it. We've got some really great body positivity and, you know, body diverse rep in here. So good. And George and Savvy are just precious. Okay, so for my number 9 ship, I know a lot of people don't like this ship, and to that I say I don't care, because I like this ship, and you can ship them with anybody you want, but my ship is canon. I ship Harry and Jenny. Now, I know so many people don't think that they belong together. Well, I do. Jenny loved him from day one, and that's just the end of it. I love them. They're cute. And I know so many people don't like this is their least favorite Harry Potter book, that Order of the Phoenix is not their thing, but they say that Harry's too angsty and whatever. He's 15. Try to remember what you were like at 15. I was angsty as hell, so I like it. So there you go. My number 8 ship comes from When the Moon Was Ours by Anna Marie McLemore. The relationship has a little bit of a spoiler to it, so if you haven't read this and are intending to read it, skip ahead till I put the book down. Okay? Cool? Good. Now that we know spoilers here, so if for anyone who has read this, they will know that this features a transgender character involved in the romance. I thought this was handled very well, very much so because of Anna Marie McLemore's own experience being married to somebody who is transgender. So, really good read, very sweet. If you like magical realism, very good book. And my number 7 ship comes from One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So, my ship is one of 2 ships in this book, and it's very pivotal onto which one she picks. I'm not saying if my ship won, or wins. Do you win a ship? I don't know. But I very much liked Emma and Sam from this book. So this features, this book is kind of hard to explain, and it's not spoilers to say, because this is literally what happens on the first page. Emma and Sam have just gotten engaged when Emma receives a call from her first husband, who she believed had died. He was her first love. They were high school sweethearts that were together for a very long time, and then he was lost on assignment. She believed very strongly that he was still alive, but after a while he was declared dead, and she finds a way to move on. And Sam is a family friend that she had known back in high school, and they kind of reconnect and have their own romance. The bulk of the book deals with the histories with these 2 individuals and how she proceeds after finding out that Jesse, her first husband, is alive, and how that affects her relationship with Sam. I really love Sam, so I won't say who she picks in the end, because that is the bulk of the book, but such a good read. It really gets at the idea of what love is and if we can love more than one person at a time, and how love changes and how love changes us. Such a good book. Alrighty, and my number 6 ship comes from a middle grade book. Actually comes from a middle grade series, so this is just the one I had handy because I've been reading it. This is The Battle of the Labyrinth by Rick Riordan. I ship Percy and Annabeth so hard. Perkabeth, it's a thing. I love it. And I have so much more to go with their relationship because I have been rereading all of the Rick Riordan novels and just watching their little young selves fall in love and fight it, and it's so cute. Okay, so the next 2 ships come from the works of Jane Austen. I have a handy dandy massive book with her 4 most well-known works. My 2 biggest ships come from, I mean, really 3, but for this list, only 2. So obviously I ship Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice because I'm basic like that and I love them. I'm sorry, I do. So, no, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. I love them. They're great. They're one of Jane Austen's most well-beloved pairings. Although my favorite pairing by Jane Austen is Anne and Captain Wentworth from Persuasion. It's not one of, in my experience, none of her most well-known works. Usually Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, and Emma get most of the attention. But if you haven't read Persuasion, I highly recommend it. In Persuasion, Anne and Wentworth were at one point engaged, but her family convinces her that he isn't a suitable match and the engagement is broken. Many years later, they are brought together again, and it gets at the idea of, again, how we love, who we love, and our family's interference into that love. It's such a good story. Personally, my favorite Jane Austen. So good. If you haven't read it, please go read it. Okay, so the next one, my number 3 ship, comes from a book that I finished reading just this past week, and that is going to be from Sarah Bernhardt's A Quiet Kind of Thunder. So this follows Steffi and Reese. Steffi has severe anxiety that resulted in selective mutism, and in her last year of school, she meets Reese, who is deaf. Now, she knows a little bit of BSL. This does take place in Britain, so that is British Sign Language. I myself am a little bit familiar with American Sign Language, but I looked up BSL, and it is nothing alike. If you don't know, ASL is based off of French Sign Language, not British, so they're very different. But obviously this is in written form, so that wasn't really an issue. Their relationship is so stinking cute. You know, their conversation in this book flows so well. I'm actually going to be doing a whole review video on this book because I loved it so much. Some really great representation here, as Reese is not only deaf, but biracial as well. So just some really good stuff in here. Oh, so good. So good. Please go out and read this. It flies by. It's excellent. And my number 2 ship also comes from a Taylor Jenkins Reid novel. That comes from The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Now, I ship Celia and Evelyn so hard. Their relationship over the course of this book is so good. Just so many twists and turns, and you know, you say stupid things, and it just Taylor Jenkins Reid just really gets at the core of relationships so well, and I love her work. So I went out and I bought the hardcover because I actually originally read this from the library, but I enjoyed it so much I had to go out and buy it. I very much enjoy this. I talk about this book all the time in my real life because it was so well done. by far the best of Taylor Jenkins Reid's work. So good. And the relationship is just precious. And now for my number one ship, the hill I will die on, the OTP for all OTPs for me, comes from the Vampire Academy series, and that's going to be Rose and Dimitri. Their relationship is kind of problematic as he does start out as her teacher and she is a high school student, so there is that taboo to it, but they're just so equally matched in who they are as people, and I am willing to overlook that because this is a fantasy world where there are multiple types of vampires. So this isn't something based in reality, but it's so good. I mean, the pain, the tragedy, the comrade jokes, so good. So flippin' good. My little teenage heart just loved the crap out of these two, and they're still my favorite OTP. So there you have it. Those are the 10 ships that I ship the hardest. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know, who are your OTPs? Who are the ships that you ship the hardest? I always love a good ship. We'll watch that ship sail. Again, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I just wanted some fun, lighthearted content here right after Valentine's Day. Hope you had a great Valentine's Day. Thank you for watching my video. Again, my name is Holly, and go read.